What's going on, everyone? We're here again with another waiver wire. Just gonna keep calling it that until I decide to change it or not. But we're here today with your boy Rotom-Wash. Again, this is a Pokemon that went undrafted at both Season 1 and Season 2 of Big Juice. Very surprising. This is a Pokemon that's really just a staple on any team. Electric Water with Levitate, you only have to worry about the water weaknesses, and you get an electric type for free. So you can double down on the electric typing because it's not weak to ground, so you don't have to be worried about being weak to ground. Obviously, if a mold breaker comes, it's a different story, but really, it gives you a free dual typing without any drawback, which is really cool. Just as you can see, just fantastic bulk. HP stat a little low, but you can work with it. You really can. Great special attack and defenses, and really decent speed. 86 speed is not bad, especially for something that you use more bulky anyway. So, thought I'd go over some few sets like I did with Sceptile last week. And really just try to pitch this going into next season. I mean, if it hasn't been drafted yet, my guess is that it might even go undrafted again next season for the sole reason that all the Scarlet and Violet Pokemon are going to be in the draft along with all the Hisuian Pokemon, so it's going to be a lot of new options. A lot of these older generation Pokemon are going to be a lot slept on going into the next draft, but again, Rotom-Wash is one of those Pokemon where like the Rotoms, even base Rotom, all the Rotoms in a draft, they should be drafted in my opinion. The only ones that really, I guess maybe not, would be like Rotom Fan or Rotom Frost. But if you have a Hail team, Rotom Frost is pretty good. And JC made Rotom Fan look pretty decent this season so far. So, again, I think all teams should really look at getting a Rotom. I think they're all solid. Rotom Fan, definitely the worst of them all because, levitate flying. But, it's whatever. Yeah, so let's get into it. Rotom. This is like the standard Rotom set. You can do max defense depending on matchup, but usually just want to go full Spadef, have that Will-O-Wisp spam. That way you're bulky on both sides when you get that burn. Again, matchup dependent. You can put the defense in, you can put the bulk into defense or have like a spread bulk. But again, this is just your run-of-the-mill standard Rotom set. This is usually the set you'll see almost every week if someone has a Rotom-Wash. Just a very standard, reliable set. Not much to really complain about. It's just what Rotom does. Another set that Rotom's pretty good with is Trick. Again, you still want to run a bulky, but you want enough speed to where you outspeed what you want to trick the Scarf to. So a little bit of speed investment depending on matchup. But again, basically same set except you're tricking. That way you can get Scarf off you and give it to something else that doesn't want it. Yeah, another standard Rotom set. Again, gets the mind games going. Next set coming up is a defog set. Like again, these Rotom sets are very like you can't really go wrong with Rotom. You know what I mean? Like Rotom-Wash, it only has a couple of really good sets, but it does it so just solidly. Like in draft, you always want a bulky water. You always want it. And Rotom is that guy. He is that guy. There's not a lot of bulky waters give you switch initiative as well, or even like a move like Will-O-Wisp. So Rotom really like, yeah, he's a little bit more frail because of that 50 base HP, but really just gives you switch initiative with Volt Switch, gives you Wisp spam, which is amazing, gives you a defogger. You really can't go wrong with Rotom, is what I'm trying to get at. And the fact that he hasn't been drafted yet is just kind of insane to me. So, again, that's the whole point of this waiver wire. Pokemon that either went undrafted completely in Big Juice so far, Pokemon that might have just been slept on in this draft or something. Just want to highlight them, get them out there. But we still got a few more sets to go through. You can even do a screens Rotom. Reflect Light Screen, Hydro Pump Volt Switch. do like mixed defense or whatever they do with tight or team matchup dependent. Slap a light clay on it. Um, Again, Rotom just has a fantastic moveset. Again, some of these earlier sets are gonna be the ones you see more often, like these three. But really, just you cannot go wrong with Rotom. And even the screen set, if they expect you to be standard Rotom and you bring dual screens with Light Clay, and they don't have in a Pokemon that has Defog or Brick Break, let's say they just bring their spinner that week, you can't break through it. So they just have to deal with screens for 8 turns. Rotom this gives a lot, man. Really gives a lot. Next set, Resto Chesto. Again, another. This is a little bit less common than the other ones, but again, Resto Chesto is just great. It gives your Pokemon 2 HP bars essentially. And yeah, I mean, just great. Again, matchup dependent. You can move the defense over to. You can move the Spadef over to defense, but again, Resto Chesto just another great set. And this is another one that I personally think is really good. Substitute Toxic on Rotom-Wash is absolutely crazy. Really just like when you expect the wall to just do what walls normally do, and they set up a sub and they start toxic pain splitting your entire team, and you're not prepped for it, that really shatters the mental. That really just gets you going. Like, it's so hard to prep for when you expect one thing and it does the complete opposite and it just stalls out your team with sub. Very frustrating to deal with. I mean, again, those are really the. I was really stretching it on that last one, but again, I think it's a great set. Even then, it gets nasty plot. If you want, you can set up with this bad boy. It gets protect, so on this set, and say you don't want sub and you just want to do. Say, if you really want to be evil, you could get rid of Pain Split and put Protect on this. That way you can sub-Toxic Protect. Again, or you could just do Toxic Protect and just Protect stall them, like Toxic stall them. Get Sucker Punch for whatever fucking reason. I didn't even know that. Thunder Wave. If you don't want to bring Wisp, if Will-O-Wisp doesn't do anything in the matchup for you, you can just T-Wave something like a Mega Alakazam or like a Mega Aerodactyl if you don't want to burn it. You just want to slow it down if that's more important to you. Confuse Ray, a little bit more niche. Definitely a little bit less reliable as the other hazards, but still mess with some people. Electro Web, very niche. Definitely very niche, but definitely something that can be used, I would say. It's like icy. It's just like electric icy wind, you know. It's just very niche, but in matchups, it can do its thing. And yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, those are basically its moves. But again, it can do a lot. Even gets priority for some fucking godforsaken reason. Yeah, I mean, I just personally, I think Rotom is a staple on any team. If you have Rotom on your team, unless you already have like 2 or 3 water types, you cannot go wrong with Rotom. Just a very solid Pokemon, you know? Just a Pokemon that you'll probably bring to 90 to 80% of your games, and you won't complain, really. Like, there's nothing to complain about Rotom. Very just strong. Because even if you're not invested, 105 base special attack Hydro Pump's gonna hurt something. Even if they, like, let me pull up the damage calc. So, like, a standard Rotom-Wash. Let's say defensive pivot. Let's say you have a motherfucker. What's a bulky ground type? Let's do Hippowdon. Hippowdon Stealth Rock. Taking 60. That's Spadef too. Okay, let's even a Spadef Hippowdon is taken 54 to 64 from a Rotom-Wash full bulk. Let's do another one. Let's do Tyranitar. A little bit less, but still 30% is very good. That's Max Spadef T-Tar too. Trying to think of another one. let's go back to Showdown for a second. Let's see. Heatran. Heatran's probably not taking it that well. Let's say it's Spadef. Still doing half to a Spadef Heatran. Not invested. Landorus. Almost one-shotting it. Like, you don't have to invest into Rotom's attack to do much, and if you do want to invest into it, you can do a choice spec set with it. Obviously, you still want to have that trick on it because you don't really want the choice specs for long, but you can even specs Rotom. Give it Mystic Water if you want. You can give it Magnet if you like. Again, you can give it Boots. Boots is actually extremely good on it because you don't take rocks damage when you're Volt switching around. Again, probably on the leftovers on it more than anything because the only recovery it does have is Pain Split, which kind of sucks. But again, it's a very solid Pokemon. Can't really go too wrong with it. So again, just want to highlight Rotom really quick, show it off. Maybe it convinces someone to pick it up next season. Probably not because of all the Scarlet and Violet and Hisuian Pokemon coming out. But again, that's going to be that. That's Waiver Wire Rotom-Wash coming at you fast.